What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to the channel. And in this video I'm going to be doing my top 5 current NFL quarterbacks heading into the 2023 NFL season. I do this video yearly. I do top 5 of each position in the present heading into each season. And I'm going to be starting this now. Kicking it off with the quarterback's position, and I'll be doing top 5 of each position over the next couple of weeks. So, without further ado, let's begin. I know this is going to cause a lot of controversy, but that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, I have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is coming off of obviously his best season yet in the NFL, and I think this is a player that a lot of people feel that he is going to continue to grow, and then there's a lot of people who feel that this year may have been a fluke, and that putting him in a top 5 list right now is premature. But look, I think Jalen Hurts has only gotten better each season. You look at his first year in 2020, it wasn't great, and 2021 he improved, and now this past year he's improved drastically. I feel like each year's improved, and when you see, a each year of an improvement with a player, I feel like that's a sign of a player who will continue to grow. If you look at this past season, he only threw for 22 touchdown passes, but he ran for 13 touchdowns. That's a total of 35. And that needs to count because that's part of his contributions to the team. And the NFL quarterback is not just purely passing the ball anymore, obviously. He only passed for 3,700 yards, but rushed for over 700 yards. He had a passer rating of 101.5. He went 14-1 as a starter in the regular season. Overall, in the playoffs, he went 16-2. That's a very, very impressive record right there for Jalen Hurts. And sure, he wasn't really tested in any of those postseason wins. I don't feel like he wasn't really tested to go out there and win a game in that Giants divisional round game. Neither was he in the 49er game. But I think in that Super Bowl he was, and they did lose the game, but I don't think you can say he didn't answer the bell. The last time he was on the field, not counting those final eight seconds, he did drive down the field, score the touchdown, and get the 2-point conversion. So I think Jalen Hurts right now, you got to give him his props, and I think he deserves a spot in the top 5. Coming in at number 4, Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he's the guy who had won back-to-back MVPs going into last season, and now he's coming off of maybe one of his worst statistical seasons, but it wasn't even all that bad. He had a total of 26 touchdown passes to just 12 interceptions and a 91.1 passer rating. Look, Aaron Rodgers, obviously, the big news with him this offseason is getting traded to the New York Jets. I think a guy who won back-to-back MVPs in 2 of the last 3 seasons, I don't think you can knock him off of a top 5 list after one mediocre year. And it wasn't even that bad of a year. I think it's a fair assessment to say that in a offense with now more weapons, he has Garrett Wilson, he has Mecole Hardman, he has Corey Davis. They brought in Alan Lazard, they brought in Randall Cobb. He's going to have Breece Hall out of the backfield behind him. A solid offensive line. I think it's safe to say he will have a much better season this upcoming year. So yes, I don't think you can be knocked out of a top 5 that quickly. In my opinion, I think Aaron Rodgers is still among the league's best at the quarterback position. Coming in at number 3, I have Joe Burrow. This obviously may seem a little low. How is he not number 2, Joe Burrow? But I'll get into why I have the person I have ahead of him once I get to that person. But speaking on Joe Burrow individually, speaking on Joe Burrow individually, I feel like watching him play is very interesting. There is not a single thing about him that really just stands out. He doesn't have a strong arm. He's not very mobile. Sure, he's accurate, but not, off the charts accurate. He has been prone to some turnovers throughout his first 3 years. I think Joe Burrow right now though has to be in the top 3 because his playoff success with a 5-2 record is just, unmatched among most quarterbacks in the league right now. And this past season, he had a 100.8 passer rating, 35 touchdowns to just 12 interceptions. Threw for 4,475 yards, 68.3 completion percentage, despite throwing the ball a lot, a 12-4 record as a starter. But I think an interesting thing to bring up when you're speaking on Joe Burrow, though, is his record without Jamar Chase. It's not very good. In 2020, he was 2-7-1, and then this past season, I believe they lost the 2 games Jamar Chase was not in. They were 0-2 without him. So he has not been very good without his star receiver. And Joe Burrow has had 3 Pro Bowl / All Pro receivers to throw to. He's had Jamar Chase. He's had T. Higgins. He had Tyler Boyd. Those are guys that if you put on any other team, they might be the best receiver on that team. They probably would be on most teams. But you can't take that away because he does have that, and you can't take away some of his clutch moments where he gets those guys the ball. But it's hard to explain. There's nothing on paper that Joe Burrow should be behind the next guy, and I'm going to get into that now. But it's the eye test. Watching Joe Burrow play, he's obviously a great player, but I am not going to put him ahead of my next guy, and my next guy coming in at number 2 is Justin Herbert. So, before you freak out, I understand that there is nothing on paper that suggests that Justin Herbert should be ranked higher than Joe Burrow is right now. But watching both of them play, I've watched both of them play over the last 3 years. They both came in the 2020 draft class. Justin Herbert makes unbelievable throws that Joe Burrow can only dream of. When the NFL did their top 100 passes of the 2022 season, you know who had the most passes in the top 100? Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert threw for 25 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions, threw for 4,739 yards, had a 93.2 passer rating, nothing off the charts. And in the playoffs, they had that disappointing meltdown that wasn't really on him, but he didn't really have a big game on his part, throwing 1 touchdown pass, no interceptions, 273 yards, really just an average game. Not a bad game, not a good game, just an average game. But when I've watched Justin Herbert play, I think he is the best pure passer in the NFL. And what I mean by that is he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. He's the best pure passer. And what I mean by that is if you take away everything besides just sitting in the pocket and gunning it downfield, I think he has the best arm and best accuracy. Now, my number 1 ranked guy is obviously the better quarterback. Spoiler alert, Patrick Mahomes. But he's the better quarterback because of what else he brings to the table. Patrick Mahomes can throw it off balance, throw it on the run, and do so many more things with the football than Justin Herbert can. So as an overall player and quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is the better quarterback, no doubt. But what I'm saying is, if you just go to pure passing, I think Herbert may have the most electric arm right now in the NFL. And we saw it. The final regular season game of the 2021 season. Like those 1,000,000 4th downs that they converted on. That electric pass he made to Jalen Guyton in the Giants game the other year. I feel that, this list is not just based on what we've seen, but also what I think we will see. Justin Herbert, you also need to remember that, yeah, he had 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions this past year. Not anything to jump out of your seat about. But you got to take this into consideration. This is a guy who was playing with messed up ribs the entire year. Broken cartilage is what they called it. Something that causes severe pain on a daily. And he also had terrible play calling. I mean, the Chargers' offensive play calling is one of the worst in the NFL. Not great play calling, not fully utilizing the two receivers that they have along with the electric arm quarterback. By the way, two receivers who can never be on the field at the same time, it feels like. I think Justin Herbert going into this 2023 season with a fully healthy, he's going to be fully healthy. He's going to have a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore over from the Dallas Cowboys who will actually utilize his skill sets. I want to see what Justin Herbert can do now and see where he will be at, statistically speaking. So, I do have Justin Herbert at number 2. I get it may be a little bit controversial in many's eyes, and I have no problem with putting Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers or even Jalen Hurts ahead of Justin Herbert right now. But in a slight nudge, I'm going to lean it to Justin Herbert over those guys. And then coming in at number 1, the undisputed best quarterback in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes. As I mentioned earlier, sure, maybe he doesn't have the pure passing in the pocket electricity as Herbert or the great running ability of Jalen Hurts. But he takes all of those things and combines it into something that I don't think anyone has. He takes a little bit of all of it and does it all at a good level, a great level. And he's able to throw the ball in the run. He's able to make plays when plays break down. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback right now. I mean, I don't see any argument against him. He's won 2 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs in the first 5 years of his career. He's coming off of winning the Super Bowl and winning the league MVP this past year. He threw 41 touchdown passes to just 12 interceptions. There's no argument against this guy. This guy is the best right now. I think he has an argument already among the greatest of all time. This past year, he also went 17-3 as a starter, including the playoffs, a 105.2 passer rating. I mean, his numbers are just off the charts, and anyone who watches him play, I think, understands that this guy is just, you take a little bit of every top quarterback in the NFL right now, and this guy is able to put all of it together and just make it even, just this super player. Comment down below what you guys think about all this, and I will be continuing this series over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys next time.